We are now entering day 30, and as the federal government shutdown stretches on, millions of Americans who rely on SNAP, EBT food assistance programs could see their benefits halted starting November 1st. The United States Department of Agriculture says it lacks authority for funding November payments without a new congressional agreement, and approximately 42 million people, including many children, older adults, and disabled individuals, may be affected. States are embracing for an unprecedented hunger crisis and are taking emergency measures. Some states are already warning recipients and food banks. They're ramping up emergency food aid, deploying guard units, and seeking legal relief to block the benefit suspension. In short, the shutdown isn't just about budgets. It could directly threaten food access for very vulnerable Americans. Unless funding is restored quickly, there could be serious nationwide civil unrest.
You pretty much said it all in a nutshell. There's going to be areas where it's going to kind of splinter off, and there'll be some trickle-down ramifications that we're all going to have to deal with and may not be prepared for. I'm sure that's crossed your mind, and maybe a lot of people haven't thought about it. A little bit of a parallel of the COVID lockdown in a different way, where a lot of things came through that we didn't anticipate. Again, so there's some really uncharted territory here. I had heard, at least studied, that a lot of police, this would be just tragic if this happened, are going to have something called the blue flu. And if you don't know what the blue flu is, it's their way of kind of protesting because they're so, especially in the red states, underfunded, shorthanded, and really not appreciated. And because of that, if that does happen and spreads, you'll have almost no actual protection for the public. If like what you mentioned, civil unrest unfolds. So again, it's my recommendation is be prepared. Do your shopping today, because we don't know what tomorrow holds. Nobody ever does, but this could be really, really amplified tomorrow if the police are not going to be there.
Well, that is new news to me and quite scary. I know there has been these immigrant strikes in the past where day without an immigrant worker, and it has caused serious, or the teachers strike, etc. But I just don't even want to imagine what it would be like to have the police strike with the blue flu. That's new news to me, and really is concerning. I sure hope that is not the case.
Well, that would be the perfect storm. We've all, deep down inside, I think most people fear the potential of a day like what tomorrow could hold, or the next couple of days, and nobody likes to think negative, but this really could manifest. And if it does, I don't care who you are, it's going to affect you in some way. You may not want to leave your apartment, your house. You may want to pack. You may want to go with groups of people out for safety. So again, it bothers me, but I try to stay in the moment as much as possible, because if I think about this, I'll be paralysis by analysis. I'll think about it and I won't be able to move.
I mean, it's a delicate situation. Every aspect of society is interconnected, and one effect over here with the EBT and food SNAP benefits, you may not be receiving them, but it will affect all of us. I mean, one group of people without benefits is going to have a ripple effect and cause chaos to the entire system.
Well, it all stems to it. It kind of gets down to your core a little bit when you're thinking about how your taxes are paying for people who take advantage of the situation. These benefits, the SNAP and EBT and WIC, are supposed to be for people who are maybe handicapped, physically unable to work, elderly, really medically, verified situations where they just can't work. Maybe a mother got divorced recently and can't find something, and all she needs to help her out is a little extra. And something like these benefits are made for situations like that. And we know this mother wants to work. She'll be looking, but in the meantime, she's got no food. Well, this is for situations like that, not to make a living off it, not to have second and third generation people living off it. It goes against America's core, what we were taught to value, why we were so respected throughout the world. We would help other people, sure, but we got to help ourselves so we can help other people.
Well, I mean, 42 million Americans receiving benefits about to be cut off. That's 1 in 6. If there's 350 million people in the U.S., it's about 1 in 6. It's about almost 1 million people per state. Now, could you imagine 1 million people per state? Look around you where you're at, all without food, shut off at once. The grocery stores get raided, looting. What are you going to do?
Well, there is a slight good news. There are people out there who are going to really step up the charities, really step up helping. There's some people out there, just good plain old Americans, who are willing to help, but it's just not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. There's still things that are going to ensue. Chaos is here. These people are bragging about how they're going to do this. I got my baseball bats. I got my steel-toed boots. I got my weapons. And these are ladies talking about what the men are going to do.
I've seen videos of it already beginning today, and it just gives people, those who want to steal and are doing it anyway, this will just give them an excuse. Now, they are want to be morally excused from being able to steal because the government shut off their EBT. They got every right to feed themselves and feed their family. And I just hate to see how bad it's going to get if it continues to be shut down.
Right, and coupled with the possible blue flu walkout, it would be the perfect storm, as I mentioned earlier. And I don't know if the National Guard would step in. I don't know what they would do. I don't know if they would actually try to stop them or actually, hate to use the word, shoot. They could do that. I don't know.
No way National Guard's going to make it in time. And I'll tell you this. I remember when the defund the police movement went on, and I'm in a major city, and they were so short-staffed and still continue to be. I think there was only 6 police officers per precinct, and there were supposed to be 25. So already shorthanded. I couldn't imagine with this blue flu. National Guard, I don't think is going to get there and protect anybody. And I mean, it might be. How long does it take them to deploy? A week? A few days?
I think what could possibly happen, especially in the red states, is vigilantes. I think that they would step up to help out. A lot of patriotic Americans don't want to see this happen, and they will step up. And we are well armed, as we all know. They've been trying to take our guns away for years, but for situations like this, vigilante groups could form, and it turns into a planned or a pre-planned possible civil war. Don't want to see that happen, but the possibilities are there. It's a powder keg ready to go.
I mean, even those people who have food hoarded, do they think that they're going to be able to fight off the hordes of people roaming around looking for food?
Right. And I mean, it's going to be chaos. And it hasn't happened yet, but it could be such a pole shift. All of a sudden, it's like a nice sunny day. Then the next day is a level 5 hurricane in your backyard. That's how extreme it could be. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little too extreme there in my definition of it, but a lot of people are not prepared for it. You can think about it, but when it happens, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle it?
Well, I imagine the people who are hoarding food, you'd have to not let anybody know you have food, okay? Because you can only have so many bullets to hold off the horde, but they'll just camp around the outside of you, and then, they're going to find a way in. Now, how can you hide that you have food? Everybody else is going to be looking, start losing weight, etc. If you're staying healthy, they're going to know you have food. But that's kind of a long-term scenario, kind of a going to a movie of the apocalypse, etc. But I always wondered that myself.
Well, that's why you want to have a strong circle of friends. You should probably have pre-made places where you can meet. I think I shudder to think about the freeways, how they're going to be. I don't know if people are going to be trying to escape. I think maybe if you're in a small town, in a secluded area, you might have a better chance with friends and see them coming, and you'd be ready. But it's the cities are going to be the most dangerous. The high dense population areas are going to be the most vulnerable spots where your safety will be concerned. You should be concerned about your own safety in situations like that.
Well, once the cities, if they collapse, they get looted, nothing left, the hordes will begin to either drive out or run out of gas, etc., or walk out even in serious situations and start walking. In all these major cities, people start walking out into wilderness, the unpopulated areas. How far can they make it? Where would be the best place? Some have said Utah, northern Arizona, way out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, even places in California offer that. Northeast California, places in Central California. It's the cities that are going to be challenged. A lot of these people are bus people. They take the buses, or they don't have a car, and the gas stations will probably run out of gas too. So now people used to laugh at the preppers. The preppers are starting to look like the smart ones now, because they can last us out a while. The government may want to kind of slip in their own little agenda there. And a lot of people, the conspiracy people, think this is a pre-planned situation. I think this could be solved quickly, but they haven't. They haven't solved it. They call it the Schumer shutdown. Even here's what's really crazy. Even the actual government employees union wants them to settle this as quickly as possible. And the union, who represents a lot of the Democrats and Republicans, are getting mad at the Democrats for stalling this thing. It's all in their hands. It's all in the Democrats' hands if you want to play by the rules. If not, the military's going to step in. We're going to have mass chaos. You might just want to write off Thanksgiving. There'll probably be no turkeys ready anyway. I think we got to have faith in God, faith in Jesus, and believe that things happen for a reason, and things are going to get better. But we've got to go through some rough patches right now. There's a lot of other things in the world to talk about, but this is in our face right now, right here and now. So we don't have much choice but to address it and deal with it. But stay positive, stay connected to your loved ones, your good friends. Watch a funny video, watch a funny movie. Try to laugh a little bit. We'll have to loosen up. That way you can think better. I know it's serious, but don't destroy yourself in the meantime. Appreciate God, appreciate nature, get out a little bit while you can today, wherever you're at. If it's raining, enjoy the rain. If it's sunny, head outside. And then you come back with renewed energy and ready to take on the world.
And you can always reach out for help. Leave a comment in there if you need help. Reach out to somebody. We're willing to help you as well. Trump and Xi Jinping had a meeting. They met in South Korea. It was their first face-to-face meeting in about 6 years. Trump described Xi as a great leader of a great country, and he called the meeting amazing, a 12 out of 10. The meeting concluded with the U.S. agreeing to reduce tariffs on Chinese goods, while China committed to purchasing U.S. soybeans, and they discussed the fentanyl crisis. Both sides talked about global issues and expressed a desire for a more stable long-term relationship. However, disagreements remain, especially in tech and national security. In short, it was a handshake from both sides, yielding an agreement in trade, but many deeper issues are still unresolved. Now, as you all know, back in October 1st, 2025, the federal government entered a shutdown after Congress failed to pass a resolution to fund operations for the 2026 fiscal year. As a result, many non-essential federal employees have been laid off, while essential workers such as traffic control, law enforcement, and military continue to work. Key programs like Medicare and Social Security remain funded, but many other services are disrupted, and the economic and social impacts have continued to grow with each day.